All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining today's presentation entitled Release Your Inner Nerd, Top Free and Bargain Tech Tools to Rev Up Your Productivity and Marketing. My name is Amanda Gonzalez, ASB's Membership Manager and your moderator for today. Before I introduce our speaker, I'd like to note that all questions will be answered at the end of the session. Also, the webinar is being recorded and will be posted to the ASB's Webinar Archives page. Now, I'd like to introduce your nerdy best friend, Beth Ziesnes. Beth is an author, speaker, technology consultant, and self-proclaimed nerd. Beth first came to the ASB staff's attention when our executive director, Kent Van Amberg, attended her presentation at an ASAE meeting, and then she later spoke at a BEMA event. The tools Beth covers transcends the industry lines. ASB believes, as busy professionals, you, the attendees, would greatly benefit from Beth's knowledge, which is why we have asked her to speak with you today. With that said, I'd like to turn over the event to Beth.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me today. I'm very excited to be here. I enjoyed speaking at BEMA, and I think this is going to be very relevant for people who own their own businesses, who work in an office, anybody who kind of has to do things in front of a computer. And my goal here today is to share with you productivity tools and a few marketing tools that'll help you become better at what you do. So here's a favor that I'm going to ask you. I want to make sure you have a piece of paper in front of you and that you write a 1, a 2, and a 3 on that piece of paper. Because my goal for this session, we're going to be talking about maybe 30, 35 tools, tons of them. But my goal for this session is not to overwhelm you with tools. It's to make sure you walk away this minute with at least 3 tools that you can use this afternoon to start putting your business back on track and to be more productive in the office. So keep that in mind. You're looking for 3 tools. All right, with that, we're going to get started. I am your nerdy best friend, and sometimes people ask me exactly what qualifies me to be a nerdy best friend. Well, let me tell you, I was born a nerd, and if this picture doesn't prove it, I don't know what does. This is me at age 13, and even back then that shirt wasn't in style. I took it off because I'm a little vain, but I had huge, big, nerdy glasses that went along with this, and it was born in my soul to be a nerd. This was my first real toy that I enjoyed more than anything else. And I spent many, many hours when I was a preteen and a teenager learning computers and playing with them and starting very early. Then when I got older, I was single for a very, very, very long time. Thus, this is what my Friday nights look like. Me in front of the computer getting all excited about new technology that was coming out. Of course, this is why I didn't date for a long time, but it has definitely helped me to grow as a nerd and to be able to be qualified to help you guys release your own inner nerds. So I'm going to jump right into the tools to make sure you get as many as you can, but remember, you're looking for 3 that you can use this afternoon. The first thing I want to talk to you about is how to work smarter, not harder. And this is the heart of the productivity tools that we're going to be talking about today. If you look at this word, it at first looks kind of indecipherable, but if you look at it closely, it's Zobni and it's inbox spelled backwards. And what Zobni does is takes control of one of the most challenging things that I think we have, which is our email. We get so much email, and it's all in a big lump, and it's so hard to organize. And I got to tell you that Microsoft Outlook search sucks. And I know you'll agree with me. You know when you type something in there, like you send an email with the word cupcake, and you type the word cupcake in there and nothing comes up, even though you know you sent an email with the word cupcake. What Zobni does is it organizes your inbox to make the search so much more powerful. If you look over to the right, this is a Microsoft Outlook screenshot, and if you look over to the right, you have Amy Villanova, and that column right there is the Zobni add-in. And what happens is, if you notice, Amy Villanova is highlighted on the left side of the screen. So somebody just got an email from Amy Villanova. What Zobni will do is pull Amy Villanova's information from a signature line and put it at the top. It will give you all kinds of information, like whether she's connected to LinkedIn. Remember, there's that one guy who was CC'd that one time that you have to find and talk to. If you look down at the bottom, there's a gray bar with all kinds of little icons. There's a little people thing where it says 9, a little people thing. That's the number of people who have been corresponding with you and Amy. So everybody who has been CC'd is in that list. If you look at the 307, the email, that's every email you guys have exchanged, so you don't have to switch back and look through all your inbox. If you look at the little link there, that's 14 links. And another magic thing, if you look at the 98, those are attachments that you guys have exchanged. So every single attachment that you have exchanged is completely organized in this inbox and allows you to cut down on your time searching for things. In addition, here's one of the most important things. If you are not on LinkedIn, this session has nothing to do with social media, but LinkedIn to me is one of those essential business tools that every single one of us should be on and should be working. So if you're not on LinkedIn, you need to get on it. But as soon as you do LinkedIn and hook it up with Zobni, it will tell you if Amy Villanova is in LinkedIn and whether you guys are connected. And it has a little button. It doesn't show right here because it's it doesn't show right here because they're not logged in. But it has a little button that'll say link on LinkedIn, and you just click that button, and one of those dialog boxes will pop up and send a note directly from LinkedIn saying, hey, let's link up on LinkedIn, and you can personalize the note. Fantastic tool, so easy to use. Zobni Basic is 100% free, and I used Zobni Basic for years until they actually, most products that I use, nobody gives me anything free. I don't do any affiliate thing because I want you to know that when I like a tool, it's because I like and use a tool. But Zobni did upgrade me to the Pro, and it's got a lot more features and things, but the basic one is definitely usable and definitely easy to use. It's a download rather than something you use online, but they also now have stuff for Gmail and a couple of other services as well as smartphones. So they're fantastic. Here's another productivity tool. Have you ever received, I'm sure you've received, the PDFs that are forms that have no form fields, right? So you start doing forms with a PDF and you're using them and things and you can't figure out how to fill it out. There's no place to do it. Well, all you have to do is go to this site called fillanipdf.com. You upload your PDF and it allows you to identify all the fields in a document and write on them. I'm going to tell you about another tool in a few minutes that will help you with kind of some other PDF tools, but this one is fantastic for when you have to fill out a PDF rather than printing it out and then filling it out and then faxing it back in. You can fill any PDF from fillanipdf.com, and it's free. Here's another PDF tool that I really like, and it's actually a series of tools. There are actually several vendors who have a collection of tools like this, but they're so handy. This one is PDF to Word. So what it does is it converts any PDF into Microsoft Word, and then they have the Nitro PDF tools have tons of different features such as PDF to Excel, PDF to a graphic, all these kind of things that allow you to kind of immediately be able to use a PDF that otherwise looks unusable. Now sometimes the formatting gets all funky when you convert it, but it definitely will help to take that first step to get something usable out of a PDF when it's all locked down. I started talking about this scheduling tool. There are so many scheduling tools, so many calendar tools out there these days, and so many of them have features that kind of change your life. But Cozy, I know it looks like Cozy-O because of that little graphic at the end, it looks like an O, but It's not. It's Cozy is a family-friendly calendar. So rather than having your own calendar that's your professional life, I bet many of you have kids at home, have families, have spouses who have to connect with you and you don't know what they're doing or when they're doing it. Cozy allows everyone in the family to put together a calendar, and your colleagues at work to put together a calendar that you can all integrate and use together. I gave this session to some executive directors not too long ago, and one of them wrote me and he said after the session, this was one of his top 3, he put everybody on the back porch on a Sunday afternoon, all the kids and the wife and everybody, and they all set up Cozy, and all of a sudden they all knew where everybody was all the time, except for the teenager, because no one ever knows, right? But another thing that Cozy does is it integrates with some RSS feeds of schedules. So frequently a school will put their schedule, their calendar, on an RSS feed, and Cozy allows you to import those. So when the kid comes to you first thing in the morning and says, oh, by the way, I have a field trip this afternoon, or you're expected, or there's an open house, and you're like, what? Why didn't you tell me? Well, Cozy will allow you to be able to have those things on your schedule so you don't have to wait. In addition, Cozy has these wonderful shared lists. Another person told me that she and her husband were shopping for a giant party, and one went to one store and one went to another, and they were able to, in real time, mark things off their master list so that everybody knows what everybody else had gotten. Very family friendly, but also great for your professional life. Many of you probably have heard of GoToMyPC. We're using GoToWebinar now. It's all part of the same family. And GoToMyPC is about $17, $19 a month or something like that. And what GoToMyPC does is allow you to be anywhere and to log in to your base computer and use it just as if you were sitting in front of it. This is a fantastic tool when you're on the road a lot so that you can actually get things done from your main computer when you have certain things, certain programs on there that you need that you don't have on the go, certain files you have there that are not shared in the cloud. This allows you to get there and use it straight from that computer. Now, Log Me In Free is free, and it's comparable to GoToMyPC with a couple of exceptions. And so there's a pro version of Log Me In that I've actually signed up for. That's about $69 a year, so it's still about half the price of GoToMyPC. But it allows you to do that access. And one of the other cool things is that many of us have smart devices now, and this session is not all about smart devices, but your iPad, your iPhone, all these things have these access tools to use Log Me In to get to your home computer. So I can literally be sitting in an airport using my phone to log into my home computer. And by the way, as we go along, please make sure you're asking questions. You can go ahead and put them up. We're going to answer them all at the end. But if you have questions, just keep them going. How many times have you had to write at the bottom or write an email saying, if it's after 5 o'clock on Tuesdays, please call me at this number. For the next 2 weeks, I will be here, so please call me at that number. And you have all these different phone numbers that you give out for all these different times a day and things like that. Well, Google has done this crazy thing. It's not a phone service, but it's a phone number that they will give you for free that you can give out to everyone, everywhere, every time, and program that phone to ring, that number to ring anywhere you are. In addition, you can program that number to have certain rings for certain people. Crazy stuff. You can, like, if you have a certain client who calls you a lot, you can actually do a voicemail message just for that client because the system will recognize that it's that person coming in. So instead of saying, hi, this is Beth, I'm not here right now, you can say, hey, Mark, I really want to get to your call. Just go ahead and leave it to me. I'll be with you as soon as I can, or my backup emergency is so-and-so. So your clients feel like they're top on the list because you personalize these things. In addition, this is something that I love. It will transcribe all of your voicemail messages and send them to you via email. This is fantastic. I don't know about you, but I am so tired of sitting by a phone holding the receiver up or whatever and listening to every voicemail message. It drives me nuts. So Google Voice will transcribe those for you. That's one of my favorite things. Oh, Google Voice is free, but there could be a $20 charge if, for example, you have a cell phone number that you want to use as your main number. They will do a one-time charge of $20 to transfer that cell phone number and make that your primary number rather than giving you a random other number. Now, this is another thing. This is less in productivity and more in just general business sense. There's a service called Google Alerts, and what Google Alerts does is you set up keywords that it looks for. You set up key phrases or whatever, and you can find, they will deliver to you in your mailbox, your email box, news that's being sent. So if you have a product, you can put a Google alert out there so that every time somebody mentions your product on a blog, in a news article, anywhere on the web, you will get an alert when Google indexes it and say, hey, this is talking about you, along with the links and things. This is great also for industry trends, and it's something that you should definitely be doing for your company and your reputation. It's something that you should know about, what people are saying about you and how, and this is a free service that lets you set it up as many as you want to get that. Now you can set it up so it's an immediate thing, so as soon as something is said, or you can set up digests, daily or weekly, so you can kind of browse. So if you've got an industry thing and you just kind of want to know what the general trends are, you can have it sent up less often. So that's it for some of our personal productivity tools. And now I'm going to talk about some things that help us work together in groups. No matter who we are these days, even if we're a one-person business, even if you're running, with just a very small staff, you are dealing with people who are all over the country, who are all over the world. And you're dealing with people you may never see face-to-face or you may rarely see face-to-face. So it's important to learn how to get everyone on the same page in this technology world. The first tool I want to tell you about, remember I talked about some PDF tools, but this is a PDF tool you don't have to download, you don't have to visit. This exists on your computer right now, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you an example. Adobe has kind of read some writing on the wall and has given us some features that blow me away in terms of them being free now, because I used to do a lot of different things. I don't own Adobe Acrobat Pro because it's a very expensive tool for a small business, but there are several times when I need these kind of things. So let me show you what Adobe has done, and this is in your arsenal right now, unless you keep hitting that little button that says Adobe has an update, do you want to do it now or do it later, and you keep hitting do it later, I know you do, then you don't have this. So the first thing that I love about it is, you know how with Adobe Acrobat Pro you have all those people who can put those little sticky notes on a page to do feedback? So, ta-da! Every single one of us, no matter how cheap we are and how much we haven't spent on Adobe products, can put notes on a PDF. And they are saved to the PDF. So this is one of those collaboration tools. Instead of sending a PDF that everybody has to collaborate on or give their feedback on around the office and having people kind of write out their responses, you can send this out and everybody can put notes on here, and all the notes will be indexed on the side. They'll be indexed down here by person and searchable. So you can have all this kind of information here immediately and get feedback on a document or get people to respond to things this way. You can also do the highlight text. It's fantastic. But there's another thing, productivity-wise, that just blows me away. So nowadays, when you get, if you haven't installed this yet, you get a PDF that you have to sign. You print it out, you sign it, and you find a fax machine or whatever, and you send it back in, right? That's usually how we've been doing it. So Adobe has worked into their basic regular old reader a signature. Oh, I don't have a signature line on here, but I'll make one. So you load your signature. You have a signature that you have electronic, and you load your signature into this document. Now this is a little bit light and it's a little bit hard to see, but I'm going to hold it still for a minute. You see that Beth Zeusness right there? I put it next to an endurance event. So I'm going to click, and as soon as I click, it becomes part of this document, and it is now signed. In addition, if I need to add text like a date, I can add text anywhere in the document. And when I'm finished, I can hit save, and it'll, what they call, flatten it out, so that what you just did is not editable by someone else. It's just as if you signed it and sent it in. It is all together in one place. Now, this isn't the tool I would use to fill any PDF, because I run with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. I run marathons with them. And bless their little hearts, they haven't figured out how to do a fillable PDF, and they send me these PDFs that are not fillable. But it gets a little clumsy. So if I click there and type, and then I click here and type, they're not going to line up all the way. It's a little hard to get everything right if you've got a lot of fields. So I would go to fill any PDF rather than using this one. But that's just me. But if you only have a few fields to use, you can use this as well. Very, very, very cool, very easy site. Tool. And again, you have it right now. This is one of those tools that I could not live without. Now, here's the problem sometimes that you have. So you look at your website, and your website has a typo, right? I know this doesn't happen to many people, but sometimes it happens to me. And you got to send this typo to the guy in your office who fixes typos. But the guy in your office who fixes typos is very busy. You got to kind of make it very clear to him. It's very hard to do. So what Jing does, now this again may be a little bit hard to see with the animation, but what Jing does is it allows you to capture a portion of the screen rather than the whole screen. Because when you have a typo, what you have to do is press what I call the print screen button, the print screen button. It's on the top right hand of your keyboard. So you press the print screen button, and then you run over to Microsoft Word, and you paste it, and it's too big, and then you cut it down, and then you save it as an attachment, then you write to the guy and attach the attachment, and there you go. So what Jing does is allow you to do a small portion. So I just click the Jing button. It sits on your desktop, and I can just gather a little bit of the screen. I click the capture an image button down here. Then, if there's a typo, I can draw a line. I can put the word typo. And with this one button right here, it says share via screencast.com. I can click this one button. It's up here, very quick. And it goes straight to a place online. And let me go over here. So it's loaded actually into my clipboard, and I press there, and there is my graphic. Seconds. So you just have to send this link to your typo guy, and he will be able to fix it. Now, it gets even cooler than that. So let me go to here, and let me go to here. So not only does it capture pictures, but it can capture videos. So if you've got a guy who calls you up every week and says, or several people, and they say, now how do I do this again online? And you've got people in the office who just kind of can't figure things out unless you're sitting there showing them, and you show them like 17 times. You can actually capture a video. So I'm going to click capture a video right here. My mic's on. It's going to go 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to say, oh, if I want to do that, I can click there. You can go there, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to hit finish. And I realize I'm moving it a little bit fast for the delay, but just to give you an idea, so this will be a horrible video, but let me just show you. And I'm going to say, oh, if I want to do that, I can click there, you can go there, and all that kind of stuff. So you can see it's capturing my mouse movements. You could probably hear, or maybe not, but it captured my voice. And so all of a sudden I have a little screen capture movie that allows me to, again, just put it up online. This screencast.com is also a free service, just like Jing is. And you can put it up online and share that with people. Now, not only is this good for telling people how to do something online, you know, on your screen and training, it's also great for going over a document, which is why I put it in this collaboration area. Because let's say somebody does send you a PDF or a brochure and says, well, tell me what you think of this. So what you'd have to do is call up the brochure, and then you say in paragraph 3, section 2, I think we should say this, or you say, you know, I think we should move this over here, and you have to write it all out. So what Jing allows you to do is go through that document piece by piece with your voice and just kind of do a voiceover. I was a copywriter. I ran my own copywriting business for many years until I decided to be an author and a speaker only. And I used to do this with my clients all the time. They loved it because it would take them a couple minutes. I would just kind of go over what I thought, and they would have the feedback and go. Fantastic tool. Here's another one of those collaboration tools that has become such a basic tool that so many businesses use. Used to be, when people did project management, they were pretty much, they had an MBA in project management. They had Gantt charts, they had Microsoft Project, they had things set up. They did it like for literally launching a rocket in rocket science and stuff. But most of us don't have to do things like launch a rocket. Most of us have to manage a project like a website, manage a rollout of a new product, that kind of thing. And there are all these people who are involved who have to do all these things, and we have to figure out how to get everybody to do what they need to do. Basecamp, there are several tools out there like this now, but Basecamp's kind of the grandfather of them all for what I call project management for the rest of us. It's just very logical project management where you go in and as an administrator and you set up a project with a beginning, a middle, and an end. So you set up milestones, you set up tasks, you assign people, jobs, and then you can track whether they've been done or not. The transparency goes through the roof when you use a project like Basecamp because no one has any excuses for saying, oh, I didn't know it was due, I didn't get the email, blah, 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 because it's all laid out. The good thing is, too, you don't have to go to Basecamp to work in it. As soon as you send an email, it's all categorized in there. As soon as you send a document, it's all put in the library, all through the system, but you don't have to upload things necessarily to Basecamp or be in there. It's a fantastic tool. Now this is just a screenshot, this shot right here, of some of the ways you do it. You kind of have a, like if you have multiple projects, which most of us do, you kind of have a dashboard to kind of help you understand what's going on in different places. It'll send you a recap every morning if you want it to. It'll also allow you to access any of this stuff from any of your smartphones and things like that. And it's a fantastic tool. It's not free, but if you need a project management tool, it can be very reasonable. So up to 10 projects, $20 a month. And it includes 3 gigabytes of storage, which is a lot, but if you need more, you can also use some of the other tools I'll share with you today for more storage and, you know, keep to the lower level. It's a fantastic tool that allows businesses to really keep track of the projects that are going on and where they are and what's going on. And again, the biggest thing for me is the transparency. Here's another get on the same page tool that's literally get on the same page. So right now I'm sharing my screen with GoToWebinar or GoToMeeting, whichever one we're using. And it's a service that allows people to share their screens. Well, join.me, that's the whole URL, join.me is the same kind of screen sharing thing, only it's free. It's by the makers of LogMeIn, and in seconds, you could be sharing your screen just by going to the page. Let me show you. You go straight to the page. When you get here, it says share your screen or join someone's screen. Now, they did something tricky because I found them when they were in beta, and when they were in beta, everything was free. And now they started doing the pro and have emphasized it. So when you get here, you want to make sure you click basic versus pro, because the default is pro, and then you'll get all confused because it looks like you have to pay and you don't. So you do basic, you hit share your screen in a few seconds, and I'm not going to do this because I'm already sharing my screen. In a few seconds, up here at the top will come a dialog box that will allow you to have a number that you can give to somebody else to have them join your screen. It also allows you online chat. You can have up to 250 people sharing your screen at the same time for free through join.me. Very easy. How many emails does it take to set up a committee meeting? There's no punchline to that joke because it's not funny, because it's hard, because people don't write back, because everybody says, oh, I can't meet that day, because it takes 4 emails per person. Let's say you have 5 people who have to meet. You go back and forth 4 times with each person. Tuesday won't work, Wednesday this, blah, blah, blah. It just takes forever. Doodle, and I love the name, Doodle allows you to pick days and times that you can send the people to get them to choose the best time to come. Now, it takes just minutes, and one of the things that I love about it is that it doesn't make you put in your email, and it doesn't make anybody else put in email. It just allows you to send a link, they choose it, and it's all done on the line. And again, you don't have to put your information in there, because I get a little oogie about sharing too much information until I have to. And this is one of the tools that allows you to kind of put that barrier up and keep your information and the people with whom you're working, everybody's information together. So those are our tools for the section on collaboration. And I'm going to go ahead and head on to some travel tools. This is about staying organized here, there, and everywhere. I could not live without Dropbox. I could not live without Dropbox. If you email me and want to be on my mailing list, because I send out a newsletter every week, but if you email me at beth@askbethz.com, I just did a whole newsletter a couple weeks ago on the 5 ways Dropbox rocks my world, because it's just so fantastic. There are several different tools out there like Dropbox, but Dropbox is my favorite. So what Dropbox is what they call cloud computing. It is storage in the cloud. And one of the things to remember about cloud computing is that this is not a new thing. We've been doing cloud computing for years and years. Every time you had a Flickr account and put your pictures online, that's all cloud computing. That's having somebody else store it. So cloud computing is not necessarily something new, but it's just got a really cool name now, and one of the other cool things is that there's synchronizing. So what Dropbox allows you to do is have a file area on your computer under the Dropbox where you can put all of your files that you may want to share in there. And they are stored locally on your computer, out there in the cloud on Dropbox's site, and on any other computer you set it up on. So you've got hard copies, basically, they're on your hard drive of them, plus they're stored out there. I say this, and I hope it never happens, but one time it kind of happened. If every single piece of hardware that I have died today, my computer, my iPhone, my iPad, I've got 2 other computers, if everything died today, I would be fine as long as if I got a phone or an iPad or anybody else's computer, within seconds I have everything that I ever need to do a presentation. This has kind of happened to me. One time, nothing was working right. I borrowed somebody else's computer and I was on Dropbox in minutes. In addition to the synchronization, which is wonderful, oh, well, let me tell you a little bit more about the synchronization. So let's say you're working on a document. As soon as you save it and it's in the Dropbox, everything is updated. Everything. And you can also revert back to old types if you need to, old versions. Plus, you can share the folders. I bought a house, with my husband and I bought a house in November, And it turns out that when you buy a house these days, a financial person who's doing your mortgage needs every piece of financial information you've ever had, including my profit and loss statement from my lemonade stand when I was 12. I mean, I'm serious. So we created a Dropbox that for our mortgage person that we shared with him, and every time he needed something, my husband and I on different computers would just drop it into the Dropbox, and that guy would have it immediately. We did not have to send emails back and forth. In addition, nowadays Dropbox has this thing where you just can click on any file and get a link for it. I've actually done that with your handout today. You get a link for it that you can send it out and download it from anywhere, and the other person doesn't have to be a Dropbox subscriber. You do to share the files, but not to see the files when you get them like that, and they can just download them. Fantastic tool, very easy. I just upgraded, and I get 100 megabytes of storage for about 99 bucks a year. There's Box.com, there's Google Cloud, Google iDrive, there's the cloud on Amazon. All kinds of things will offer you several gigabytes for free, and they all kind of have some similar capabilities. Another thing that Dropbox just did for me that blows me away, let me go back there, is that I just switched from being a PC to being a Mac. I know, it's been forever, and I went ahead and did it. And instead of going all through those processes of switching the stuff from one computer to another and hooking them up and blah, 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 I just put everything on my PC into the Dropbox. Then I opened up my Mac, which was also had the Dropbox, and everything in the Dropbox appeared. So everything that I had on my other computer is now on my Mac without me having to go through any hoops. So fantastic. And of course it's backed up on my old computer and all kinds of other places. Fantastic. So let's talk for a minute about more note-taking and organization kind of things. Evernote is fantastic. It's the granddaddy of note-taking. And what Evernote is, it's that folder, that plain old yellow folder that sits on your desk that has everything you need for one certain project with the paper clips and the scraps of paper and all that kind of thing. And it sat on your desk and it was about an inch thick. You know that one? That's what Evernote is online. So what Evernote does is allows you to take any kind of note, any kind of document, email, web page, anything, throw it into Evernote, tag it, put it in folders, do anything you need to with it to allow you to keep everything organized and together. It's one of my favorite go-to tools when I'm on the road because you can access anything. It's immediately updated everywhere. And you can share those tools and those projects with other people, so it's another collaboration tool. A little bit more information about Evernote. Again, it's everything. You can capture everything, access it anywhere, and you can find things very easily. Oh my gosh. Every time I see these tools, I just get so excited because this is another one that I can no longer live without. So how many of you, and you don't have to tell me because I can't see you, but how many of you have in your purse or on your desk or in a drawer a pile of very wrinkled, very old receipts that you're supposed to do something for? I know you're out there. What Evernote does, what Shoebox does, it allows you to take every single one of those receipts, put them in an envelope, send them off to North Carolina. Somebody else will scan them in, will categorize them for you, will put them online, will sort them by everything, every possible way you need them sorted. And then, if you want to, you can have your receipts back, your hard copy, or they'll recycle them for you, which is what I did. Literally, because I don't like to pay things if I don't have to. I don't like to sign up for services. But I had receipts in every corner of my house. And when we moved in November, I'm walking around the house going, I don't even want to move these things. I don't want it. So I finally said, for Christmas, I'm going to sign up for myself in a Shoebox account. And I literally took, let me show you how much they cost. I signed up, believe it or not, for the Light account, which is $9.95 a month. Now, $9.95 a month means they will take care of up to 50 documents a month. You cannot, my time is worth more than $10 to process 50 documents. and I'm sure your time is, so that was an amazing deal. But if you do an annual plan, which means pay for everything up front for a year, you get what they call a kickoff scan, and that allows you to take all these things that you've been holding off on and put them in the mail. Well, I went around the house and I picked up all these pieces of paper. I got one of those old, used manila envelopes or whatever, and I literally stuck them all in there and put duct tape around them. I mean, it was horrible. And then I had to do it again. I had so many receipts, and I just shipped them off. And this was over Christmas, and by the very beginning of the new year, every single thing that I had piled up everywhere was gone, categorized, and it was just totally organized, and I have never spent better money than with Shoebox. So excited. Like I said, I live on the light. I think I'm going to have to move up because I send all of my receipts now via email. So I go to Starbucks when I travel. I go there a lot. And I get my tea or whatever, and I stand there. When they give me the receipt, I take a picture of the receipt. I mark in the notes what conference it's for, and I hit send with my iPhone, and it goes straight to Shoebox, and I recycle the receipt before I leave the counter. So in my purse, you won't find those crumpled receipts, and I don't have piles here anymore because it's all gone. So fantastic. Now I want you to pick up your pen because I love Shoebox and Shoebox loves me, and they're offering a special deal just to the people who go to my session. So if you go to shoebox.com/AskThatZ, they will give you a free trial of the Shoebox Classic with an extra 50 scans, which is cool. Let me go back to this page. So the Classic is $150 a month, and you get 30 days free. So you'll get actually 200 documents, and so you get the 30 days free, 200 documents. So even if you don't use Shoebox, you can use this free trial to send in that pile, get yourself up to date, download them, and then not worry about them. So again, it's shoebox.com/AskThatZ. And again, they're not paying me to do this. I just asked that they would give a special thing since I love them so much to my attendees. This is a cool tool that is also for on the road and also for receipt management, Expenser. So what Expenser does is allow you to immediately collect information about your expenses while you're on the road. And you literally can text or email or whatever. You can say, cab to airport, $40. Into the phone in some way or another, send it to Expenser just like that, and it will create a record for your cab trip to the airport on such and such a day in such and such a city for $40. And it will create these records to allow you to keep track of your expenses so easily. Another travel tool I could not live without is TripIt. What TripIt does for free is take all of those reservation receipts that you get, they're emailed to you saying here's your confirmation, all that stuff. You send it directly to your account at plans@tripit.com, and it organizes them for you. So everything is available in one place. So what happens is I travel a lot, so I'm on a plane, and I send my airline reservations, and I send my hotel reservations, and I send my super shuttle reservation or whatever, and I just forward it, and it sees that I'm going to Chicago, that I just booked a hotel in Chicago for those dates, and I booked a super shuttle. So it puts all of those into one trip. So I can look on my TripIt app, you can see it kind of tiny here, and it'll say London, England. When I'm leaving, when I'm coming back, it'll give me a map of the area where the hotel is. It'll tell me about the hotel, and it'll also give me the weather of where I'm going. It's fantastic, and it's free. They have a Pro Edition, which has even more features. If you're really a road warrior, very much handy. But I've been able to make do with the TripIt mobile app. And speaking of apps, I wanted to share this one with you for those of you who are on the road. This is so fantastic, and it's brand new. If you ever get the oogies about going to a hotel room and touching the remote control, because frankly, the remote control is the oogiest, germiest part of the room, I've heard. Blah. So I kind of get grossed out by it. LodgeNet, which is in most hotels, like most, I think 80% of the hotels in the U.S. have LodgeNet TV services. They've developed a mobile app, and when you turn on your TV at a hotel, you can check in their menu the mobile app for, it says Go Mobile. You get a code that you put into the mobile app on your phone or your iPad, and it will allow you to have a remote control from your phone or iPad for your TV. It's just so cool. And it gives you more features. You can watch previews for movies, all kinds of things on your mobile app rather than on the TV. So you can be watching the previews of the movies while you're switching channels because it's got the whole listing. Very cool app. And free. I'm going to show you some tools that have to do with marketing and kind of graphics and all kinds of fun stuff. This one's fantastic. So you create a PDF, maybe a product catalog, maybe a new thing about your business, maybe something that for a report that you're doing to maybe get more funding, anything like that. You create this PDF, and there is a site called Issue that allows you to upload that PDF, and let me show you what it turns into. It's so fantastic. So this is my site, and I created a PDF from a PowerPoint. And if you look right here, here it is. I've embedded it in my site. This is just a PDF, and what Issue does is it creates a fantastic little book, a browsable catalog for free. And when I expand it, it turns into this big one. I can click on links, I can add links, I can do a table of contents, all kinds of things. Very easy to use, very self-explanatory, and all you have to do is upload it, and it's free. Now here's another trick. If you're thinking about SEO, search engine optimization, and you want to be able to be found more often on Google, your website or whatever, there are tricks and tips. I can't get into a lot of them, but there are tricks and tips about how to build up and get a lot of links to your Issue site so that it allows you to get better rankings. So when people search for whatever you're selling, you can use keywords in Issue that allow you to increase your rankings. Okay, the next one is Animoto. And it's such a fantastic tool. Look, I'm afraid to show you this demo because I don't think it'll work really well, but I'm going to try it. So what Animoto does is it takes your pictures, and in a matter of minutes, it allows you to, let's see, I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. It takes your pictures, and in a very few minutes, it allows you to put pictures. There we go. So I'm not sure you're seeing that very well. So I'm going to stop it right there because I'm not sure how the transitions were going. But that's a funny little video I put together as an example, and I called it my nerdy year in review for my business. But it allows you to take pictures, put them together on this site, choose some audio, press a button, and everything is configured and animated into this very professional looking program. Now this is fantastic if you've got products, if you've got services or something that you want to distribute, that you want to tell people about, if you want to do a Christmas card with your business, whatever, you can use Animoto to put the pictures up there, choose a soundtrack, choose a theme, press a button, and there you go. Now, Animoto is not free. The basic version, it is free. The basic version will only give you a 30-second video, though, and it's not good enough, I don't think. So it's a whopping like 20 bucks a year, maybe 30 bucks a year, and it is so worth it to get the full version that allows you to have longer videos. In addition, this is actually, they sit online, but you can also, for like 6 bucks or 3 bucks or whatever, download high-quality ones that you can then share or put on your website or that kind of thing. It's very, very handy and can make a fantastic, very professional presentation. And I hope that it looked good on yours. I tell you a lot about tools that'll save you time and that kind of thing. This is not one of those tools because it's way too much fun. What Tagxedo does is lets you take keywords. I did this one for you guys. It lets you take keywords and put them into a graphic with words. So I'm a little bit running out of time, so I'm not going to do this for very long. So let me just show you. So I'm going to use my Twitter ID. And what it's doing right now is retrieving keywords from my Twitter ID, and it will render a cool graphic. And then here's why you definitely will not be able to stop this. Because when you press this all button over here, it redoes all the graphics, and then you can fine-tune it till the cows come home. So fantastic. Look, I say the word nerd a lot. And it's so easy to do. So you can brand it to the colors in your office. You can use your own fonts. And if you saw, I did a cupcake, so you can upload your own pictures and have things filled in there. So if you've got a logo that's kind of a basic shape, you can put it in there. If you've got a product that you wanted to do, if you've got words you want to use, you can use those. Fantastic and easy and free. Another thing that's cool is it allows you to download things in very high quality. So if you wanted to make a graphic and put it on something, you know, your marketing or something, there you go. I am going to kind of power through some of these. iStock Photo is a fantastic place to get stock photography for very little money. And I'm not going to go there for right now, but a couple $3 per graphic versus hundreds of dollars for stock photography from a place like Getty's. There's iStock Photo, there's Dreamtime, there's several sites like this, but they are so much less expensive and they're so professional. Dafont.com is literally thousands of free and bargain free fonts that you can use. So if you're looking to brand your new company, so let's go Cupcake and submit. So look at all these fonts that you could choose from for the word cupcake. Now you can use any different kind of word you want to do the preview. I really love this site. There are a few like it, but I love this site because it does allow you to have this preview. GIMP and Pixlr are Adobe Photoshop for free in the basic sense of the word. It doesn't have all the features, but Adobe Photoshop is very expensive for a small business to own. It's not something that a lot of us can have, and even if you have it on one computer, you might not be able to have it on every computer you might need it on. So GIMP is downloadable, and Pixlr is online, and they allow you to have the same kind of tools that you have in Adobe Photoshop. Okay, I am almost done. Got some fantastic tools here to get you help when you need it. The first one I want to talk about is Elance, and Elance is like Craigslist with a hall monitor. What Elance is you go on there and you write up a project. Let's say you need a new website. So you go on there and say, I need a new website. I like these websites and blah, 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 or you say, I have no idea what I want, and you put your budget in there and you put your time frame in there, and then you open up a bidding war. Thousands of freelancers hang out on Elance, and they will come and bid on your project. You can look at their portfolios. You can go out and search for people and invite them to bid. You can, because you like what they've done, you can look at their ratings. Once you choose somebody, it's just like Basecamp. Remember where all of the things are kind of saved in one area and you manage your project through there and you have milestones and you control the money. So on Craigslist, when you hire somebody to do a new website, if that person, you know, gets married or gets pregnant or whatever and runs off and doesn't finish your project, you have no help. So what Elance allows you to do is control the money so you don't have to give it out until you're ready. We are coming close to the end, so start, if you want to, start adding your questions. Fiverr is crazy. Let me show you one of the new things that Fiverr just did for me. Fiverr is thousands of freelance, they're freelance graphic artists, SEO experts, everything in the world, and they will help you with almost everything you can imagine. Now this is my new infographic. It's funny, you know, I told you I was a copywriter, and one of my old copywriting clients just called me to do a project, and I said no, and they said they wanted an infographic, so I sent them off to a person who does infographics, a graphic designer. They're going to pay about $2,000. You know how much I paid for this? $15 to have this graphic done. I picked out the stock photography from Dreams Time. I gave him the content, and he created this fantastic, cute little graphic for $15. Because Fiverr, the site, is all about things that people do for $5. I've got one more example from Fiverr, and then we're going to get to, I got that done for $5 on Fiverr. So the last thing I want to tell you about is 12 Force. When you're on the road, when you're at home, when you're anywhere, and you have a quick question about technology, if you have a roadblock, the 12 Force people allow you to just tweet in questions, and then they will help you. I am going to open it up for questions now. I'm sorry we may run a couple of minutes over. So let's ask questions.
All right. Thank you, Beth. So right now we're opening up the webinar for our Q&A, and you can see some instructions to submit a question. Make sure your attendee panel is open, enter your question into the question box, and click send. I actually already have a question from Michael, and he wants to know, can you import iPhone numbers to Google Voice?
Can import iPhone numbers to Google Voice? The answer is probably. It allows you to pretty much direct any incoming call to anywhere that has a valid phone number. One thing I know about Google Voice is that if you have, you know, when you text somebody, you usually text to their regular phone number. Well, some people, if you text, there are codes rather than phone numbers, you know, shorter codes. It will not do that, but pretty much everything else will be about the same.
All right, thank you. Our next question is from Lynn, and she wants to know, what do you think of SiteCell to start a new website?
Say that site again.
It's called SiteCell, S-I-T-E, and then the next word is S-E-L-L.
Let's take a look. I don't think I've heard of that one. S-I-T-E-S-E-L-L?
Mm-hmm, 2 words.
More than business, life-changing. Let's see.
Oh, apparently it was supposed to be Site Sell It. Lynn just added a correction. Yeah.
You know, probably you should write to me. Oh my gosh, that's it. Probably you should write to me, and maybe we can figure it out, and I'll take a look and tell you what I think. So write to me at beth@askbethz.com.
It's not a problem.
And I will try to figure out what that is and if I've heard of it and what other people say about it.
Yeah, I'd be happy to put you in touch with Lynn. Not a problem. Are there any additional questions? I'm not seeing anything come in, but we'll wait a minute. I know we are just over time, and I appreciate everyone's patience.
Well,
Uh,
I put up this slide because here are a few of the places, and I'm going to send you a link to this final PowerPoint so you can have all these tools. But here are a few places where I go to get information and I go to check things out. So I'll send you this as well. And I encourage people, and I'm not trying to beg, but I encourage people to go to my website and sign up for my newsletter, because every single week I do send out free and bargain tech tools. Like this week we're going to be talking about how to do a photo booth to engage people, and last week it was all about security questions and past online security. So these are tools that are free or bargain that I share every week.
Yes, and I do receive your newsletter, and it's great. I actually did receive another question from Michael and a comment from Lynn. I'm going to read Lynn's comment first. She just wants to let you know that this was great, and she appreciates the presentation. And as for Michael, he wants to know if fax zero is fax to email.
Fax zero is not fax to email. Fax zero rocks so much I can hardly stand it. So what fax zero is you go to the site called faxzero.com. I'll go there real quick. Faxzero.com, I go there a lot. And you put in your sender information, you put in where you're faxing it, you upload a file, and it faxes it for free. Free. So it's outgoing faxes. There is probably, I think it's on your list, there is something called eFax Free, and it's a little bit hard to find, and it's a little bit tricky to see because they try to hide it. And eFax Free is free incoming faxes. Fax Zero is free outgoing faxes.
All right, good to know. So we are actually 3 minutes past our time, so I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I'm not seeing any other questions come in. So I want to thank everybody for attending. We are going to be giving out 4 books to random attendees, and I have selected them, but for privacy issues, I'm not going to read the people's names out loud, but they will be contacted after this session. So thank you for attending. You're going to receive a follow-up email with a survey. Your feedback's important to ASB. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Again, I'm Amanda Gonzalez, the membership manager. My number is 1-800-713-0462, extension 3, or I can be reached at agonzalez, that's Gonzalez, at asbe.org. I just want to remind everybody that this webinar was recorded and will be uploaded to the ASB Webinar Archives page if you want to review it again, because there were so many different questions and tools that I think is wonderful for everybody. And we'll also be including a link to the handout if you didn't receive it this morning. And Beth has been kind enough, she's going to send us a copy of the PowerPoint to upload as well. So thank you again, Beth. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you, everyone.